Hi everybody, welcome to Sharon's Home and Garden. Today I wanted to do a little garden tour video and show you how the garden is progressing. I don't know about you, but I can't believe it's the middle of September already. I really can't. And we've been having some really cool nights here, and it shows in my garden. Everything is really shutting down. So let's take a look. We are going to start here by my hydrangea plant. This is a limelight hydrangea, actually two of them. Just beautiful. I wish you could smell them. And they're just starting to get that pink blush on them. See that petal there? They smell so good, and the bees are really enjoying them. And right below it, I have this volunteer squash plant. I have no idea how it got here, but it seems to be doing really well. I must have dropped a seed, and it got, when I swept off the patio, it germinated itself. So I'm going to be in the shadow here, but it looks to be a summer squash plant. I had a zucchini mix from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, and I thought that was kind of fun because you never know what you're going to get, and that's what it looks to be, is some kind of summer squash. So we'll see what happens. Second stop today is going to be my prehistoric plant here. I call it a prehistoric plant. It's actually Hydrangeas, or however you want to pronounce that. I am getting a lot of fruits on them. The packet says that this plant takes 6 months to produce fruit, and it's really quite pretty. Look at how that purple in there is just pretty, but look at these thorns. They are just everywhere. But we're really getting some nice, when I say we, I mean you and me, by the way, because I say that a lot. I'm really getting some nice fruit on here. It's growing really well. I have some friends I gave my seedlings of this plant to, and they're in smaller pots. I want to show you the pot this is in if I can. I think this is it might be a 5-gallon pot. It's a 5-gallon pot. I will probably leave it in this pot, and I will take this plant downstairs in the basement over the winter and bring it out again next year. I will tell you, if you want to grow this plant, it requires a lot of water. You almost have to water it every day. So I'm going to try to figure out some kind of watering system for downstairs, because my house can get very dry in the wintertime. But it is a cool plant. I just don't know how I'm going to get it downstairs without stabbing myself to death. So we're going to stop here at my jalapeno pot. I've got 3 or 4 different jalapenos in here, and some marigolds. These are all different color jalapenos, and they're finally starting to turn. We've got an orange spice, a lemon spice. This is another lemon. And then a regular green. So I'm happy that they're finally starting to change color. In this other pot, buried in the marigolds, I've got two peppers that are ornamental. This is a New Mex Easter egg pepper. They're just beautiful. And this one is a Bolivian rainbow. You can see in here you get orange and red and yellow, and when they start, the purple ones, they all start out as purple and then they change colors. I love these two plants, this Bolivian rainbow and the New Mex Easter egg. They are just beautiful, beautiful ornamental peppers. And in the same pot with my ornamentals is this particular pepper called Pusajuala. And this pepper is another hot pepper. I think I'm going to let them turn red and dry them and use them kind of like red pepper flakes type thing. See how they are. In here is my corbachi peppers. You can see there's quite a few. They are beautiful, yellow and orange and red. I've been picking them as they're red and quite long, over 6 inches long. I've been picking them as they're red, slicing them up and freezing them because I love to use a very flavorful pepper in with, like when I make pasta sauce or whatever. They add a lot of depth of flavor to your anything you want to put peppers in. And I still add bell peppers, but I can get bell peppers anytime. You cannot find this kind of a pepper around here. So very happy with those. Just next door is Jimmy Nardello. These plants are done. I've got one more ripe one here, but for the most part these plants are done. I'm going to be taking them out. Cucumber row is dying back. There are still a couple plants that are giving me cucumbers. You can see down here another yellow one ready for seed saving. This pickle plant is still putting out pickles, but it's time to take it down. This is the longest I have ever had cucumber plants. Normally they die. And you can see they are suffering from, especially look at this one, powdery mildew. But that's okay. So this one on the end, and all my tags are gone. I don't know where they went. This is a straight 8. This one on the end is still producing cucumbers. We're still getting flowers. Look at that. And fruit. So I will leave this one here as long as I can. In the tunnel, my Japanese long cucumbers are still producing fruit. This one, I've been gone for a week, so I wasn't able to pick it. This one is gone. I might let this get yellow and save the seeds, because I will definitely grow this one again. These are the most flavorful cucumbers. So much better than an English cucumber in my opinion, but they have seeds in them. The nice thing about an English cucumber is they don't have seeds in them. But that one is dying back. Over here, this is a jester squash. And then one of my pie pumpkins. I've got to pick that. It's ready to be picked. I've got several of them here. Here you can see this one is definitely ready. There's another one there. And then all these vines can come down. And if you go up, pumpkin, up and over, I've got a nice big pumpkin there. I'm gonna have to somehow trace this vine. One of these seeds, these pumpkins that I grew, is supposed to be used just for seeds. So if you like to eat pumpkin seeds, it's supposed to be really good. And I have a feeling that bigger one is like that. So can't wait to find out. Birdhouse gourds everywhere. These are the smaller ones. I mean, they are everywhere. Here's this one, huge. Couple more there. There's some like on the other side of this fence. Look at them all. If I could do it over again, I would put these in a separate part of the garden because they just took over and they kind of pushed out everything else. So we're still inside the tunnel looking at melons. You could see how most of it has died back. Over here, I believe this is a banana melon. Here's another one over here, or canary, one of the two. That one is probably ready, except it's supposed to be yellow. Sorry about the wind chimes. No wind chimes in here. So here's another one of those. These melons, I don't know what this is. I have a feeling this is ripe because the vine is completely dead around it. It's just being held out. Kahari melon. I think this is a farm woman. This one too. Farm woman. They're not ready yet. So I was pretty happy with my melon production. Again, they got drowned out by the birdhouse gourds. But for me, I was able to taste a few varieties, and that's all I really wanted. So how many of you are already planning next year's garden? I am, isn't that terrible? But that's what we do. We like to see what worked, what didn't work. What works we'll do again, what didn't work we'll change, and that's part of the fun of gardening. Tomatoes have really died back. This Ponderosa tomato, I got a lot of tomatoes off of that one. But almost everything has died back. I'm still getting ripe green vernissage. Still getting ripe ones of those. My German lunchbox, which are on the ground here, are still ripening. I've got a Dr. Witchy's in here that is not ripe yet. And my Abe Lincolns are finally, and the plant's almost dead. So let's just face it, the plant is dead. I mean, look at that. But I want to let these all ripen. Talk about big, beautiful beefsteak with tomatoes. Look at that. They're just gorgeous. And then these atomic grapes, I'm going to save seeds and see what I come up with next year. So sad, but tomato season is almost over. My huckleberries need to be picked. I have 4 plants here. And they are all loaded. So I really need to just sit down and pick these. My ground cherries are still doing fantastic. There's still quite a bit of fruit on them. If you look underneath. When I first planted these, I thought they were gonna die. And they really took off and now are doing really well. They have done well all summer long. They've breached their boundaries a little bit, but they haven't really spread that much. So I'm very happy with them. I will definitely grow these again. You can see my zucchini here are suffering with powdery mildew. The whole garden is really. They're still producing flowers, and I just picked a bunch of zucchini off of them. So I'm gonna let them go until I will leave them go until they're suffering. Like this one is yellow. The leaves are starting to yellow and they're really bad, but there's still a flower in there. But I think I can pull that one out. He looks a lot worse than this one here. This one still looks okay. My sweet pea currant tomatoes really look pathetic, but they still have a lot of ripe tomatoes on them. They are a pain in the butt to pick, but they are so good. I just have to sit down and pick them. They're fun to bring to people. Like when I do a platter of tomatoes and I bring it to people and they look at them, they're like, what are these? And I'm like, those are tomatoes. And they eat them and they're just so good. So they will always be a staple in my garden. So I just realized that my mic had turned off. So I'm gonna have to voice over that whole section of the video. Ah! Oh well, either that or I'll do it all over again. I haven't decided which. So I hope you enjoyed this garden tour. I have a lot of things that I have to pull out. So, how many of you enjoy pulling out stuff as much as you enjoy planting it? I don't know, there's just something about cleaning it out and getting rid of the stuff that doesn't look very good. Fortunately, this time of year I can replant. I could plant lettuce and spinach and bok choy and all kinds of things for my fall garden. And so that's one nice thing about that. So until next time, I hope you have a great day and happy gardening, everybody. Bye-bye.